Carolyn Dube here, and today I'm playing with the new Dylusions paints. I just got my hands on them. They came in the mail yesterday, and I just wanted to see what these things could do. Now, I love Diane's sense of color, especially with her spray inks, so I had a feeling I'd pretty much fall in love with her colors in her paints, and I was right. But these paints, I wanted to see what they did to get familiar with them. That way I would know how I wanted to use them in an art journal. So the first thing that I do when I get a new product is I play with it. And that's what I've got for you today in the video, is me just playing and experimenting and see what these do. And the very last thing that I did with these was my absolute favorite, and I just fell even more deeply in love with these paints at that point. Well, enough of my talking. Take a look and see how it went. First thing I wanted to try were these paints with a stencil. And I like to stencil the messy way. So this is not very precise. I am breaking all the rules if I want a perfect and pristine image, but that's generally not what I want in my art journal. So I am just doing some quick and messy stenciling here to see how this paint goes through the stencil. Now, the stencil I'm using is called Encouraging Scribbles that I designed for over at Stencil Girl Products. I didn't clean my brush because orange and yellow look great together, and why bother with cleaning when I can spend time playing? So I'm just getting some different colors in here, really liking how this paint feels. Has pretty good coverage too. I'm really happy with how thick it is and how little paint it takes to cover something up. Or to go over something like a stencil. I'm actually just using the paint that's in the lid, so that's pretty handy to have such a nice size lid. I can just take the paint from there and don't have to worry about putting it on a palette, which honestly is where I sometimes squirt out way too much paint. Well, I let it dry mostly. I mean, it's dry enough for me. And what I want to test now is what's the opacity of the paint. How much, if I put it on top of another, how much does it let it shine through from underneath? And putting the yellow on top of the orange and over the little bits of pink there, you can see everything comes through the yellow. But honestly, that's what happens with almost every yellow I've ever used. So now I'm going to try a little bit of pink there. And as I put that pink in the center, I notice that it really overpowers the orange. So now I'm going to try the orange on top of the pink. And when I put the lighter color on top of the darker, that darker color comes through. Well, I'm pretty sure if I take that pink and put it right on top of that yellow at full strength, it was absolutely going to hide that yellow. So I added some water and created more of a wash in that color that definitely let the orange peek through. Well, I'm putting some more orange, I should say yellow, that one was yellow. And I'm putting a little bit more of the full strength paint, or almost full strength paint, back on top. Little bits of the yellow still peek through, but not a whole lot of it. Well, I couldn't decide between blue and green for the other color, so I'm actually going to compromise, and that will allow me to see how well these paints blend together. Boy, was my tongue tied on that one. Nice coverage on this paint. Have to say, for as opaque as a coverage as I'm getting, they're solid of coverage. It really didn't take a lot of paint to do that. Well, now I'm going to take some of the beautiful blue, and I'm just going to see how well the colors blend together. Because the point of this art journal page for me is really to take these things out for a test drive and get familiar with what they do, what I like about them, and how they work in the style that I like to use things in my art journal. And so far, I have to say these paints are doing a very, very nice job. Well, now I'm going to give it the water test. So the paint was kind of damp, and I hit it with some water, and now I'm going to see if little bits of the paint come up, and they absolutely did. And I got a little extra gift from a dirty paper towel, too. And this is all mostly dry, but it's not like anything here is perfectly dry. And so now I'm going to give it the big test. I am going to grab the white paint, and I'm going to see if that white is opaque on top of it. And you know what? The white's doing a very nice job. If I do a super thin coat of white, I can make it look more translucent, but I wanted the more opaque. I want to see if the white would pop against it, and sure enough, the white has a pretty good pop to it. In fact, way more pop than I actually think I want. So I'm going to take some of my dirty brushes and just kind of blend it around and soften up that white a little bit for me. And that way I'm not wasting any of the paint on my brushes too. So bonus points for using it all up. Well, here's what made me fall completely head over heels in love with these paints, and that was being able to write on them. I have used that white pen on all sorts of paints, and it has never been as bright and vibrant a white as it is on this paint. It's like she designed this paint so that you could write on in a journal. And actually, I think that is part of why she designed it this way, and she hit a bullseye with it because it was so easy to write on. Absolute favorite thing about it. If you'd like links to any of the products used, I've got them all over on my blog at acolorfuljourney.com, and down in the video description or possibly popping up on the screen is a place for you to just click and head right there to make it easy for you. And while you're there, I'd love it if you said hello and took a peek at my newsletter. It's a free newsletter that always includes a downloadable goodie for you each and every time, and I've got a free video and PDF waiting for you when you sign up. If you're enjoying this video, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up. Want to see more of my videos? Then just subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll never miss a new video when it comes out. Thanks for being a part of this colorful journey.